You know, I'm always so serious with the opening monologues to these videos, so allow me to lighten up a bit and start off with a joke. Who wants to hear a funny joke? Good. Here's the joke. Sasha Banks and Tamina Snuka have a match, and Tamina Snuka wins! That was fucking good. Tamina Snuka wins! Did you guys hear the joke? Did you get it? Why are you not laughing? Oh wait, could it be because it actually happened on this week's Smackdown? Please allow the mad scientist of the professional wrestling world, BC Amplified, to remind you all of some mind-boggling statistics. Do you guys realize that the last time Sasha Banks even had a one-on-one televised match was back on December 20th, 2019, where she couldn't even beat Lacey Evans? That's right. According to the old man in Stamford, Connecticut, Sasha Banks isn't even good enough to beat Lacey Evans. In fact, if you guys were wondering the last time Sasha Banks was a winner in a one-on-one televised match, you'd have to go all the way back to November 8th of 2019. That's right, nearly half a year ago, when she beat Nikki Cross. But that's the last time she's won a match, one-on-one, on TV, November of 2019. She can't beat Lacey Evans. She can't beat Tamina Snuka. So what now? Do we make pretend that the old man is even considering Banks to win the Money in the Bank briefcase this year? Please! And what if I told you that Dana Brooke took care of Naomi last night to advance to Money in the Bank? A match made for someone like Naomi and her skills. But nah, we'll go with Dana Brooke instead. What the fuck? What the fuck? And the tag team titles changed hands last night in a singles match. I'll say this again just so everybody can comprehend this. The tag team titles changed hands last night in a singles match. How does that even happen? The Smackdown review for April 17th, 2020 starts now. Let's get amplified! And right out of the gate, let me be clear. This show had the potential to actually be good. I didn't mind the flow of it. And I didn't mind things like Dana Brooke versus Naomi. Dana Brooke, I feel, has been improving by the week, by the month. Another good tune-up match for her. Get her where she needs to be. The winner goes on to Money in the Bank and competes in that female ladder match, a match built for Naomi. Dana Brooke, you're still trying to build to where she needs to be. That's not the 2020 Money in the Bank briefcase match. How did they come up with that conclusion? Sasha Banks versus Tamina. Okay, I don't mind that. Tamina just came back off of another hiatus. She's been there for 10 years. 9 of those years, if you collect it all together, 9 out of the 10 years, she hasn't even been used, or has been injured, or sitting in the back, twiddling her thumbs on fucking social media, playing video games, or reading Reader's Digest. Who knows what she's doing? But 9 out of the 10 years of her career, you haven't even seen her. So she comes back. Okay? You have this be a tune-up match for Sasha and get her to the Money in the Bank briefcase match for May 10th. No! Somehow Tamina is holding her hand up high in victory. I wouldn't have minded a tag title match last night. Why was there's no tag teams competing? This was a one-on-one triple threat singles match for tag titles. When you make one illogical, erratic, boneheaded decision after another. One after the other after the other. It becomes not a good show. And that sucks because it had the potential. I feel like the main roster, the old man, Raw and Smackdown, they're finally starting to get their footing at the Performance Center. But that's just part of the problem. That's half the equation. You still have to be smart and make logical decisions. Your booking has to make sense. It has to complement your superstars. Even if you're trying to build other superstars up that the fan base doesn't necessarily want to get behind for many reasons, you can't build such superstar up by tearing another down. That's what they've been doing all too often as of late. We start off with a moment of bliss. Guest Braun Strowman. Alexa did really good here. It's an awkward situation as it is, conducting an interview segment like that with no crowd. But she didn't force it. She didn't try to do too much. She stayed calm, took her time, and made it an actual conversation, which is, I felt that's exactly what that segment needed. Braun notices a package in the corner and thinks it's from Alexa, but finds out upon opening it that it's from Bray Wyatt, and inside the box is Braun's old Wyatt family mask. I like this opening. I would have done even more. I would have made it a little less awkward. They focused too much on that mask when he opened it. He was a little too freaked out by just a mask. Alexa Bliss literally thought she saw a ghost. I felt it was a little bit too much acting, but I see where they were going with it, right? You really want to expose the story of Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. Obviously, that's going to be the story being told over the next 3 weeks. And I'm cool with that. That's all it needs. But I would have done even more. If that's the situation, I would have utilized Bray Wyatt a bit more. I would have literally set up a situation where it was like they saw a ghost. Bray Wyatt tapped into something even more mysterious and methodical and devious that really shook Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss to the core. But just a mask, and they were that freaked out, that was a bit much. When I say I would have done more, it would have been more suited to what Bray Wyatt can do, how he can really freak you out. Just a mask? Man, I feel that was a missed opportunity. But I see where they were going, and I liked it. It's a start. You have several weeks still to go. Capitalize on this. You can do a lot. You could do so much with the Bray Wyatt character. I say this all the time with the Undertaker's character. How you could just do so much with it. Bray Wyatt's the same way. You don't have to rest on just opening up a box and it's a mask. But it's a start, and I'm okay with that. So I didn't feel that was a bad opening at all. And again, Alexa Bliss just making this a conversation. You're not going to win. People are going to pan this online, I bet, anyway. I mean, nothing Alexa Bliss can do is going to be good enough for anybody anyway. So you know what? No harm, no foul. Why rush it? Why make it more awkward? There was a couple times she's fucking cheersing her coffee. Hey, I'm with you. I'll hold up my fucking coffee. And so anytime somebody wants to fucking salute coffee, I'm there. So again, I didn't mind this opening. I like the idea. I just could have done so much more with that idea. It's typical WWE. They can get a good idea from time to time. They just don't know how to complete it, how to finish it. They'll get a good idea and they don't put any effort into it. That's been their MO for the last several years, and it's so damn frustrating. The first matchup of the night was Sasha Banks versus Tamina. Bayley is on commentary, and the stipulation is if Tamina wins, she gets a shot at Bayley's championship at Money in the Bank. So it was clear as day. We all knew what to expect. There was no way under the sun on this green earth that Sasha was winning this match, and she didn't. But I give Sasha so much credit, though, because for 10 minutes, she attempted to have an actual wrestling match with Tamina. And a wrestling match with Tamina is the equivalent to having a wrestling match with a giant mattress. It's big, awkward to handle, and puts you to sleep. The finish saw Lacey Evans come down, take out Bayley, I guess a slight distraction maybe, and Sasha receives a super kick on the outside. Then she's tossed inside, where she receives another super kick from Tamina, and Sasha Banks' back is flat on the mat. She's looking up at the lights as Tamina's hand is raised in victory. Sasha is forced to job yet again to another female with not even half of her talent. The sad part is, it's so normal now that we've become used to it. Sasha Banks is in a one-on-one match. Here comes a loss. Again, her last victory one-on-one on TV, you're talking November 8th. And if you want to go to her victory before that one-on-one, you have to go to September. That's significant, guys, because from the months of April to August, she wasn't even in WWE. Remember, she left after WrestleMania 35 for several months. Unhappy, and I don't fucking blame her. So she comes back for SummerSlam in August. And since then, televised, she's had maybe 3 victories, 2 to 3 victories one-on-one on TV. Since August of 2019. And if this is okay for anybody, even if you're not a Sasha Banks fan, if you think this is okay, you got a couple 2-3 screws loose up in your dome piece. And I don't know what you're doing on this channel, because this channel is actually for smart fans that know what they're talking about. That know the talent that somebody like Sasha Banks possesses. And the old man won't even let her defeat Lacey freaking Evans or Tamina freaking Snuka. Tamina freaking Snuka. If you guys are wondering, the last, and this is off the top of my fucking dome piece, but pretty fucking accurate. The past 13 of her 15 matches, or something in that ballpark, they're all tag matches with Bayley. So if you're wondering why Bayley doesn't feel like a champion, even though she's been champion for about 189 days now, it's because she's always in tag matches, tied at the hip with Sasha. If it feels like one of the best wrestlers in the world, especially female-wise, but you can leak that into the whole fucking roster as a whole, professional wrestling as a whole, Sasha Banks doesn't feel like one of the best wrestlers in the world today, it's because she's tied at the hip with Bayley. Tag match after tag match after tag match. Once in a while, they'll leak her into a one-on-one singles match just to have her job out. If you don't think there's something wrong with that, something criminal, definitely somebody I would never associate with. Because we're on 2 totally different wavelengths, 2 totally different sides of the spectrum. This isn't even agree to disagree. This is just fucking tragic. Next up is another 90-second squash match for Sheamus when he beats Denzel Dejanay in about 90 seconds. Post-match, Michael Cole is about to cut to a Jeff Hardy video package. So Sheamus flips the fuck out. Dude, I just beat this kid in 90 seconds. That's pretty damn impressive. You don't have 10 extra seconds to talk about it? You want to cut to Jeff Hardy? But what do you expect, Sheamus? This is the instant gratification world that we're living in, where everybody has the attention span of a squirrel, so it has to be on to the next. Speaking of on to the next, Naomi versus Dana Brooke was next. This was a Money in the Bank qualifier, where the winner, simply put, goes to Money in the Bank, a match that is fit, that suits, that is made for someone like Naomi. So, of course, your first thought was watch this ridiculous company that makes one ridiculous move after another. Watch them actually have Dana Brooke defeat Naomi. You were hoping that didn't actually happen. But this company is so ridiculous at times that that's something they would do. They would have Dana Brooke go to Money in the Bank instead of Naomi. Like Dana Brooke is going to put on a better Money in the Bank match than the athletic Naomi. But it's something this company would do. We didn't think they would actually do it, though. Oh, they did it. They absolutely did it. Dana Brooke defeated Naomi last night. Dana Brooke is going to Money in the Bank. Now, you're probably expecting me to flip out right about now and say something like, why the fuck is Dana Brooke beating Naomi? And you'd be correct. Why the fuck is Dana Brooke beating Naomi? That's not even shade to Dana Brooke. I know the cool thing to do is to shit on Dana Brooke. Well, I don't care about being cool. First of all, I was the cool kid in school. And if I wasn't, I'd be the one beating up the cool kid. But in all honesty, Dana did good in this match. Not as good as Naomi, obviously, but she held her own. And continues to improve. That's all I ask for. The reason I shit on people like Tamina is because I just don't see improvement in 10 years with the company. People like Elias down in NXT, no improvement at all. They're a liability, not a reliability. At least what I can say about Dana is she's improving. But I have a serious question that nobody wants to address. How does Dana Brooke make the women's Money in the Bank ladder match better than Naomi would have made it? It's a serious question, guys. This isn't just BC relax. So she lost the match. She'll win more in the future. No, this is about the future. It's not just the fact that they made Naomi look like a fucking schmuck in there, losing against Dana Brooke, simplistically, I might add. Minutes after Sasha Banks is looking like a fucking moron in there with Tamina, so that made it even worse. But it's not just the fact that Naomi lost and looked like a schmuck, it's what it leads to in the future. How the fuck does Dana make the Money in the Bank ladder match better than Naomi would have? Dana makes it better? No, I'm the mean guy and the asshole, the boogeyman, the bad guy on YouTube. He's so negative. Why the hell does he flip out on everything? Probably because nothing makes sense. This isn't just about who I want to win. It's about what's best for the individual and for the company. Fuck! I'm trying to help him! Oh, man. I tell you guys, I can't, in the same night, in a matter of minutes, I'm watching Tamina Snuka defeat Sasha Banks. Minutes later, I'm watching Dana Brooke defeat Naomi. I'm being told that the main event later on is a tag team title match in singles competition. I don't even know what to think. And there's people that are telling me, BC, calm down, relax. It makes sense. You gotta look at the positives. I can't lower my standards, guys. I can't be a sheep like everybody else. I love this shit. I'm not going anywhere, just like my New York Knicks that are the worst team in the NBA for years now. I still watch every game. You know why? Because I love them. I'm gonna be there when they start succeeding again. I'm not a fair weather bandwagon fan. I'm not fickle. I'm gonna be there for my Knicks, just like when my Packers sucked and couldn't make the playoffs. They finally got Brett Favre and eventually even Aaron Rodgers and we won some Super Bowls. But I was there when my Packers sucked. I'm gonna be there when the WWE and pro wrestling booms again, and I hope one day it does. I'm not gonna jump off. But damn! These decisions, you have 614 creative writers, you have a supposed genius in the old man in Stamford, Connecticut, you have all these executives that supposedly know what they're doing and know what they're talking about. They all get around a big boardroom meeting table, and this is the best they come up with. This makes sense to them. Talents like Naomi and Sasha Banks. And don't dare tell me, I always get people, oh, Naomi's bland, BC. She just doesn't do it, you know? You gotta accept the fact that she just doesn't jump off the screen. Well, who does in the women's division? Who does in WWE? Honestly, Naomi's better than 99% of the fucking locker room there for the females. At least she has a look, a presence, a badass entrance. She has energy. Not to mention she's one of the most athletic, the most skilled, the most talented. The 99% of that female locker room. So what are you going to tell me? Naomi just isn't good on the mic? Okay, that's 99% of the females. They're not good on the mic. How the fuck you going to tell me Becky Lynch, you little weirdo, and her character is better than Naomi? Stop it! Oh, man. Sonya Deville up next. She begins the second hour pleading, crying, basically begging for Mandy Rose to come to the ring so she can explain herself. Mandy finally does come to the ring, and Sonya Deville starts verbally unloading on her. But honestly, my concentration was locked on Mandy's ass and thighs, legit. Girl was a whole meal last night, real talk. Hot damn! We'll just leave it at that. And to be fair, Sonya cut a damn good promo on Mandy, basically calling her a plastic Barbie that came out of a lab, and she's tired of playing second fiddle to another carbon copy, non-talented blonde. So to speak, I mean, in a roundabout way, that's exactly what she was saying to Mandy Rose. And you could get behind that, you know, because that's the truth. Mandy Rose was always the star of that twosome, and for a good reason. It's not like Sonya Deville had any immaculate talent over Mandy. But, you know, and I know Sonya Deville is most likely going to get so much praise this morning for that promo, and she deserves it. It was good. But let's tone it down a second here. It's still Sonya Deville, all right? She's not an immaculate talent. She's just not. In the way that, not just pro wrestling fans, but the way a lot of WWE fans are, I've noticed, you do one thing good. One thing. And they're anointing you the next big thing. So, thankfully, I've been off social media for a while now, because if I was on it last night, you probably would have been seeing the most insane praise for Sonya Deville. Like, she is going to swoop in and save the women's division because she cut a good promo. That's not the case, guys. Yes, she did cut the good promo, but she's not saving the women's division. Her in-ring skills and talent did not become any more immaculate. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it's just truthful news. But it's still a good promo. You know, I'm not going to knock it, but you're going to have to do a hell of a lot more if I'm supposed to now get behind Sonya Deville in any huge capacity. Dolph Ziggler comes down. Sonya decks Mandy pretty hardcore. Otis hits the ring, takes out Dolph. And we're going to continue Dolph and Otis. And I've been down with this storyline from the beginning. I like the Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose promo. But once Dolph and Otis came to the ring and just started tooling on one another, I felt that was just not needed and not creative. And, what was her name? I apologize if I mess up the last name, but the writer for Otis and Mandy, Andrea Listenberger. Andrea just got laid off. She was one of those furloughs from WWE corporate. She was the lead writer for Otis and Mandy and Dolph and Sonya. So maybe this is signs of that, you know. They didn't know where to go after the promo, so they just had Otis come down, Dolph come down. You know, but Andrea, she was kick-ass on this storyline the entire time leading up to WrestleMania. So that shows you, man, when you lose good people, you know, it starts to fall apart a bit. I like the promo. Once they got into the physical contact, I just felt that was, it was not done in a creative, good way. For everything that we saw leading up to WrestleMania, now you have to get even more creative. They could have just left it at the promo, or Sonya decking Mandy with a cheap shot. I didn't need to see Dolph and Otis yet again. Because again, we just saw them leading up to Mania. We saw them at Mania. And now there's more physical contact immediately after. Well, if you're trying to get them over to Money in the Bank, you have to get more creative and a little less physical. How's that? That's a good motto, right? And then the rest of the show, it's a little bit more simplistic, guys. There's not a lot to talk about. We had a great tribute to the Fink, but we already, in my last video, talked in great length, in great detail about the Fink. The best ever to do what he did, and the voice for all of us growing up. And no! Love the Fink, man. Daniel Bryan, he tapped out Cesaro to earn his spot into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. And that's going to be at WWE headquarters. I didn't even mention this yet. I love this idea, guys. They are actually going to start ground level called Titan Tower at WWE headquarters. And they're going to work their way up floor after floor to the roof of WWE headquarters, where there they will climb the ladder and reach the Money in the Bank briefcase. I just think that is awesome. During the time that we are in right now, where they are forced, they have to get creative. That's pretty damn creative. They're forced to film somewhere like the headquarters. It's being billed as climb the corporate ladder. I just love this, guys. I truly do. That is going to be entertaining as fuck if they do this correctly. And you have these individuals, honestly, it's like the MTV challenge. It's like a challenge, right? It's like the Amazing Race. They made this into like basically an obstacle course. I fucking love this. I mean, you're forced to get creative. We already saw a ladder match at WrestleMania. There's no more we need to see. Now you're going to have 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches in an empty facility with no crowd. Climb the corporate ladder, man. They're going to literally have like a fucking challenge obstacle course just to try to get... They're going to earn that shit. I love this. I hope a lot of time and effort and creativity is put into this because I fucking love this idea. So Daniel Bryan, again, tapped out Cesaro and earned his way in. Backstage, Elias is attacked by Baron Corbin. We went to commercial. When we came back, Baron Corbin was still beating the shit out of Elias. So they're continuing that. Not that I need to see that, but at least this was done backstage. Get away from the ring a little bit and, do something a little bit different. So at least they had them beating the hell out of one another, or lopsided. Baron Corbin beating the hell out of Elias. At least that was done backstage. So no harm, no foul. I just don't know if I need to see another Elias Corbin match. Again, I use this word. I don't mean to run it into the ground, but it's true. You need to get creative for us to care. Someone just beating someone up, even if it is backstage and away from the ring, even if it is a bit unique or a bit different, and you prolonged it over 2 segments, which makes it a little bit unique and a little bit different, even all of that isn't going to work and make us care if you don't get creative. Food for thought for Elias and Baron Corbin, and whoever's booking that shit. The main event is a tag team championship match with no tag teams competing. Big E versus Miz versus Jey Uso. Big E actually wins this match, and the New Day becomes 8-time champions. And again, I can't reiterate this enough, it wasn't even a tag team match. If the entire tag division wasn't a joke before, it's absolutely a fucking circus now. WrestleMania tag titles on the line in a singles match. Last night, same thing, a singles match. It's a mockery, a fucking farce of the tag division in WWE, or any promotion that claims to have a legitimate tag division. Don't even but BC me. Please do not try to justify this utter bullshit. Just like at WrestleMania. But BC, it was a good ladder match, man. I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't give a fuck, dude. It's a tag team title match with no tag teams competing. You guys don't... Nobody cares anymore about the prestige of something. Putting respect on the name of something. On the thought of something. Nobody cares anymore. People are okay to just tear down any concept. Just for minutes of fun or minutes of entertainment. Tag team wrestling used to mean something to me. With Harlem Heat and Demolition, the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, Rockers, Heart Foundation, Killer Bees. Tag team wrestling was, meant something. And nowadays, guys, the truth is, tag team... I can't stand tag team wrestling anymore. I have not liked tag team wrestling for years because WWE made me not like it. WWE has ruined it to the point where it literally just sucks. I cannot stand tag team wrestling. I can't. Literally cannot stand it. I want nothing to do with it. I already know that there's no creativity for one-on-one matches. What makes me think on a schmaz match? Because that's what tag matches have become. Unfortunately, tag team wrestling has become schmaz matches. I can't even stand it anymore. And now we've stumped to a new fucking low. Where now tag teams don't even have to compete. Because this set up the unprecedented, guys. Or the new precedent. If you think this is going to end in the future, it's not. Because it's already been done now. So now, anytime they need to have a one-on-one match to decide who's the tag team title holders, they're going to do it. And I'm not hearing a lot of people complaining at all. Nobody gives a fuck. Or they just mention it, but nobody's harping on it. I stand up for what I believe in, man. Tag team wrestling has to be looked upon as something prestigious. As something people can really look at and say, this is awesome. This is a legit division, not a farce. They made it into a complete joke at WrestleMania. I don't care how good the ladder match. I've seen 1,000,000 good ladder matches. I've seen 100 ladder matches way better than what I saw at WrestleMania. But even given the conditions, so BC, they were forced to do, no, they weren't. Then you make a much better audible decision. I wouldn't even have had a tag team title match then. You had 16 matches on the card. If you throw in the pre-show matches, you had 18 matches. You didn't need to do that at WrestleMania. But that's one thing. To do it on a Smackdown? Again? A singles match? So, on top of that, I'm harping on that. On top of that, guys, the New Day wins the titles again. I mean, year after year after year, it's the same fucking thing. It's the same shtick. You got one guy blowing on his fucking trumpet, you got another slinging pancakes, and you got another thinking he's fucking at Chippendales doing a striptease. The New Day shtick has gotten old, but it's been old for a couple of years now. Not saying they can't be entertaining from time to time, and they still don't make Vince McMahon some merch money here and there. And I know they're easy to promote. If you need to promote something, not that he utilizes them in the correct way, but you just throw out the New Day. They're fun and colorful. I understand the benefits. But it's no longer servicing the actual audience. We've seen this time and time and time and time again. And who are you going to do? New Day versus the Usos for the 1,425th time? Because that's what we're going to see every year, the past 4 to 5 years. We've been seeing Usos and New Day at least 12 times a year. The Forgotten Sons looks to be their next opponent. And you know that's a reactionary decision from AEW because they lost the Revival. The Revival is surely going to AEW. The Forgotten Sons are the closest to the Revival. Not in talent, although Forgotten Sons are getting better and better. But when you think about the style, when you think about the characters of the Revival, the Forgotten Sons are the closest. So it's no coincidence that the Revival were sent over, or out of their contract now, sent over to AEW soon. So then they called up instantly the Forgotten Sons. That's not a coincidence, guys. Same thing when Rio won the AEW Women's Championship, and 4 days later, Asuka was plucked from obscurity, and she won a tag title with Kairi Sane. 4 days after AEW's Japanese talent won a title. Before that, Asuka was getting shit. She surely was not getting a championship. Kairi was an afterthought. You know, these are decisions that are being made because they want you to, oh, AEW's got this, yes, but we have a better version of it. That's what they're trying to sell you on. I'm seeing what they're doing, dude. You're not fooling me. I see no good at all that comes from this main event at all. And again, the fact that it just doesn't make sense anyway, and it shouldn't have happened. A tag team title match should consist of tag teams. Tag team championships, changing hands, should only be done when actual tag teams are competing against one another. Or to another. You know, to an old school fan like me, it's a farce. If you're okay with it, that's cool. But don't BC me. Don't even. You know what I mean? I don't even need to hear your opinion at that point. Because we're on two separate sides of the spectrum. Pro wrestling to me means something different than it does to you, obviously. Doesn't matter who's right or wrong. It's my belief. Tag team wrestling needs to have tag teams competing. A tag team championship match definitely needs tag teams competing. And if you're going to change the titles, you definitely better have tag teams competing. It's WWE. Just throw a singles match out there. The Amplified, man. That's Smackdown for April 17, 2020. For now, you know what to do. Keep whooping that ass. Think. Be. Live amplified.